last one wasn't good.
Saturday morning, you got people working out. So we had heavy squats or front squats, then 15, 12, 8 cleans and GHD sit-ups, and 15, 12, 8 power snatch and dips. It was brutal. Huh?
I'm dying.
Dying. Second round. Nice. You're up, Billy. Hey guys. Welcome to the show. Today we are finishing up our talk about our TBF class, how we program the class and what we do for that class. So in previous episodes we've mentioned we are very big proponents of periodization. In that we will not only have different phases, strength phases, power phases, hypertrophy, muscular endurance, so that we can continue to have continuous gains in both cardiovascular fitness, but muscular development, strength gains, all of that stuff, without having to sacrifice one versus the other over the course of the macro cycle. So again, that's the most important thing to say. If you hear some noise, that's Luigi, hey buddy, making an appearance here. All right, now they're all coming over. You pet one, you got to pet them all, right? Right, Mackie? Right, Mackie? Come here. I don't know if you can see him. Anyhow, so when you have a phase, or we're in a strength phase or a hypertrophy phase, whatever phase that is, that's a small portion of the entire year. So as we've mentioned in the previous episode, when we talked about in-season training and some specific things you can do in season, I kind of talked about how you would alter or can alter the volume and the intensity, or in the cases that I gave, altering the volume but keeping intensity high during the in-season, so that you can continue to see progress, technically speaking, even though your gain or your maxes may be the same at the beginning or the end of the season. That's actually maintenance, right? Even if we don't follow just like 3 sets of 10 at 70%. Because again, if we did that, we would decline in our total strength because of the rigors of the in-season phase. So what we do here in this class, again, is we will have these different phases throughout the year, and we're going to be focusing on one thing. So if we're focusing on strength, we'll still do our conditioning to maintain or even improve our cardiovascular fitness. But at the same time, when we're in a muscular endurance phase, or even if we are incorporating more running, longer distance running into our program, our strength, as opposed to doing high level endurance work, 15, 20, 30 reps, we might do some of those in our conditioning sets. But we'll still have a main lift of the day. Again, it will mimic like our in-season, where we will have a higher intensity, but much lower volume for our lifting sessions when we're trying to focus on cardiovascular endurance. So that's, again, in a nutshell, what we do to keep our clients progressing from month to month, but over the course of that entire macro cycle, or in this case, over the course of the year. So last time I talked specifically about in-season, I wanted to give a couple final points here about the quote off-season or our main objectives here. So most people that come into the TBF class want to lose body fat and they want to build a little bit of muscle. Most of them also want to get a little bit stronger, But strength, overall strength may be a secondary goal. Most of them want to lose a little bit of weight and gain a little bit of muscle. That being said, the functional hypertrophy block that we're in right now, we're actually going to be in for quite some time. It'll change up the format. The functional hypertrophy is very akin to other training methods similar to like German body composition. Not German volume training, but German body comp, where, again, the idea is to burn calories while you're working out with long tempos, higher reps, but at the same time, we're going to still push the tempo and keep the intensity high by using that time under tension, or the mechanical tension. So right now, we're doing, as I said, kind of blocks of 3. Working different muscle groups within around the same joint in slightly different areas. So all the muscles are worked in all 3 variations, but there's a different primary mover. So the next phase that we're going into after this, which will be starting next week, is going to be a more direct, there will be supersets. So we're cutting down, so we're going to get more exercises per workout, probably more like 6 or 7 different exercises in the workout. But again, still sticking with tempo, and still we're going to be a traditional supersetting, opposing or antagonist and agonist muscles together. So with that in mind, our strength phase and hypertrophy phase is kind of the same here. So we're going to be building strength. We're going to get stronger. We're definitely going to build a little bit of muscle, but we're also burning fat. So this is a great kind of hybrid strength hypertrophy phase right now. And this last phase has been, we're on the 3rd week, so there'll be actually a deload week, and then we're going to take on the new similar function, still similar strength hypertrophy block for the next 8 weeks actually. So this is going to be a long block. So this would be considered our off season, where we're really focusing in on exercises that are getting us stronger, getting us a little bigger, and losing body fat. Those are the main 3 goals, which again, you could argue are goals at all times. But the next few weeks would be our quote in season, if we're trying to parallel that to our sport. Once we do that, we're going to move into a phase where we're would be considered our pre-season phase. We're going to add a lot more plyometric stuff. We're going to add in a lot more agility-based work, speed-based work like sprints and things like that, all in an attempt to take that newfound muscle gain, strength gains, and leaner body, more capable body, and then doing some things with that, using our body. Again, that's why we train, right? It's not just for gym PRs. Those are great, and we need those, and we like those. I mean, that's fun. But we want to train it for our athletic endeavors, whether that be like a CrossFit or a functional fitness competition, or if it's going out on hikes, trail runs, whatever the case may be. So we're going to get more, what we'd say, sport specific or position specific for our preseason, but that's not going to be for another few weeks. So I'll circle back around when we get to that. But like I said on the first video, I think, or second video, we're going to have over the next 3 or 4 weeks a lot of footage from the conditioning sets of what we're doing, and some of the strength work sets as well. But on the next podcast, I'm going to, or not podcast, still got to get used to the YouTube. On the next YouTube episode, we're going to delve into some sport-specific programming. So the first one we're going to do is weightlifting. It's my personal favorite to program for. It's what I've programmed for myself over the last few years. So we're going to kind of go through differences. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with what I used to do and what I do now, and then give explanations along the way. So that'll be at least a 2 video series, part 1, part 2, maybe a part 3. So that being said, enjoy the rest of this video. I hope you guys understand how we put together our TBF class with specific workouts. Again, depending on the phase, we will have the conditioning support the main lift of the day, and support the main energy system that we're training. That's the key take home here. And we do that by altering the work-rest ratio, and we do that by altering the exercise selection as well. So that is very important. So if you take nothing out of these last 3 or 4 videos, remember, whatever the main focus of the day is, that usually would be the main lift, there'll be some accessories, And then the conditioning segment needs to be supporting whatever that main lift is through exercise selection, but also by the work rest ratio depending on what energy system you're training or what type of training, strength, endurance, power, whatever that might be. All right, enjoy the rest of the video. Look forward to the next one.
There you go. That's it.
Actually not bad.
There's people behind us.
We're going.
Is drinking more important?
It's not. Claw is the law.
I think the law is not to hold up the course.
Not holding up the course. I love driving the golf cart. Okay, this is legitimately the track, not me.
The what?
The golf cart path. Hi.
Hey, Specs.
I'm not trying to be a typical white girl, but it's very refreshing. My mango claw. I'm gonna hit some balls with my claws.
Any day now would be great. We are waiting.
I'm
There are
going.
people all around. These people are coming up quick on us. Hips down. There you go. One more. Good. Good one. All the way. Good. Hey, and welcome to Coaching the Coach. I'm your host, Pete Townley, for the Upstate Performance Project. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining in today. We are going to be talking about some trends that we want to see go away after this whole quarantine, but also what we want to see in place of that. So again, I don't want to ever leave you hanging on things that we want to change and not give you some hope and some ideas on how